I hope you have more fight in you than they did. Say on, you fool. You've already lost.
Target.
Darkness surrounds us. Go with speed. Find me when Kagraxis has been slain. I sense an even darker presence
You need to get me out of this cage. We're in more danger than you suspect.
Soon, this wretched forest will be bathed in darkness! The darkness.
Hurry! You must find Sion before it is too late!
He put up quite a fight. But your archdruid belongs to me now.
Nightmare! So new! Prepare, creature! This curse has made me stronger than the ancients! None can stand against the Nightmare Lord!
Elune Adore, a Shah Ferland.
I need to get closer.
Intruders, they will not get far. Ah, we meet again, weakling. Now it's just you and me and my guard. You can't stop the storm.
Continue the ritual! I will handle these fools!
4, 3, 2, 1.
Can you feel the winds? They come for you.
Phase change.
my son! Your punishment is death.
Take damage.
The storm awakens!
Interrupt.
The tides rise! All will be eradicated! Tempest!
Good luck, friend.
Interrupt.
Has come! Ancient souls of the Black Rook, rise!
AoE incoming.
This energy!
Run out. Interrupt. Keep moving.
Now I see.
The darkness. It is gone.
You aren't the ones who did this? I understand now. You must find Kutalos. You must put a stop to this.
Invaders have breached the passage to the crypts. Ilisana, you must hold them here. We have much to lose. Your father's life most of all.
You need not worry. I will not fail, Etosius. Men, the invaders come for us. Do not let them pass. For Kalimdor!
Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. Shockwave.
We will bury you here, fools. You cannot escape!
Target
The
you.
hunt is eternal.
Crowd control. Crowd control.
Too far away.
Paint this keep with your blood.
Target you.
Bother running, flea. Ha! Gotcha!
I need a target.
save us. I will make this keep. Don't bother running. Gotcha.
Knocking back.
Hold them off. We must prepare. Kurtalos, they come for you.
They do. Together we shall defeat them, Atosius.
Watch your step. Watch your step.
Fiends, you shall never have our world!
Enough! I'm tired of this. Ravencrest. Worthless husk. 10,000 years have not been kind.
Target.
Now you.
No. This is not my ancestors. Ilisana. Oh, forgive me.
AOE incoming.
You must defeat him.
You expect these worthless marvels to defy the Legion?
Target you.
Souls of my ancestors! To me! Aid our champions!
I will count on it. Whenever you come, we will meet you. And we will defend our world. Thank you, heroes. The great veil has been lifted from our eyes. We Ravencrests have sacrificed much and more in defense of this land. I see now we may rest, safe in the knowledge that heroes still live, who will defend our world.
friend of the Grummels.
Ishnu Allah.
It's a pleasure to work with you. Our endeavor goes on.
Give me something to build. Why are you here? The world will change.
Time is set in sand, not stone. Change is good. We will meet again. There is more than one way to solve any problem. Our paths cross at last.
Warriors of the Horde, get your axes and sharpen your spears. The Burning Legion has returned to our world. What is your purpose? Guard yourself. You seek answers? Seek the truth. I'll listen. Trust only your eyes.
Family, friends, food. These are what matter most. Too far away.
What can I do for you?
with you.
Too far away. Behold the wonders of Pandora. May the red crane live forever.
We must act boldly with the time that remains. Reward seldom comes without risk. You are now in an altered timeline, where I have greatly empowered some of the creatures you will encounter. Find and defeat these creatures to claim the temporal energy coursing through them. But know that you will be in for a challenge.
Felicitations to you. Tell me what you find.
Another patch has hit the servers, and it looks like Classic Plus again this time, specifically because of one particular number, 1.60.0, from Mists of a Pandaria, 5.5.0 to 1.6. Keep in mind, SOD 1.57. Now there's an mysterious 1.58 server, but 1.58 server was what kind of brick down the back end change. There was nothing major there, there was no magic or mysteries of the universe. 1.15.8 was nothing more than back-end data. It's a vendor, just a regular build. You know, there was like there was some stuff in there, for example,
charging
bundle, all power bundle, and all that random ass shit. It's just PvP back-end stuff. WoW tokens, in-game store. That was already addressed. That was handled. There's no mystery or magic or like, holy shit, guys, this is Classic Plus. Get ready. Back-end stuff. It's setting it up for TBC anime. That's pretty much what it's doing. But this new build, not from Algalon, from dev though, from today, it is the internal build. No alpha, no PTR, no backend, just for the devs to work on. Now, like everybody else, I can't wait for Classic Plus, I can't wait for, you know, SOD Phase 9, all that magical stuff. And I don't really want to clickbait people too hard. But this is real, serious backend testing of Mists of Pandaria being tested all the way back into, in this context, of vanilla server. And I'm not exactly sure how you go from future patch and backend everything to 1.60. That's kind of wonky to alpha, and I'm not sure exactly what they're testing here. But I'm gonna be right up front. This is not Classic Plus. This might be a Classic Plus alpha, if even that. And that again is pushing it. This is internal testing for systems for a particular game mode or for a particular version to make things in future expansions work in previous versions. Because we know they're working on Classic Plus, right? This isn't like a mystery or magic. We know there's some real internal, like, offline servers that aren't even going to ever be tested. That's how they work on Midnight WoW for so long. That's how they work on, for example, Classic Plus or upcoming game modes that everybody's ever finding out. So if they finally push something to the open internal servers, which is like now kind of connected to the internet, again, I'm not some big coder, don't take what I'm saying for granted. We can now start seeing some of the stuff
Watch your step.
And in this context, we know nothing about nothing. We don't know a single thing about what's in these servers right now. What is this 5.5.0 to 1.60 patch we're looking at? Who the fuck knows? Now, I want to speculate, I want to theory craft, I want to deep dive a little bit to kind of discuss exactly what this could potentially be and what this means for the entire player base, assuming it's a Classic or Classic Plus again. Now, I don't think this is TBC anniversary, because TBC anniversary would be jumping to 2.15 to 2.5, whatever number patch they're going with. It's TBC, right? TBC isn't going to be 1.60. That would have been on the other client going from this context from 1.58 to 2. This, or maybe even a rapid 3.8, and there was a 3.8 jump, and that might have been hidden towards internal server testing. It's a whole different ball game right there. Going from Mists of Pandaria back to Anniversary in a 1.6 kind of tells me that they're finally getting closer to maybe potentially announcing Classic Plus or teasing it or alpha beta testing. Now, if they are going to be doing testing, it's going to be under full NDA. Nobody actually going to have access to it. Even if a content creator does get in, you're not going to get any videos or information about it. But this could explain why this is finally coming out in a very internal build, and a new one at that takes Mr. Pandaria to Classic. So let's assume this is Classic Plus alpha testing. Very, very early, very alpha testing. We are probably looking at new zones, Total WoW stuff, whatever they've kind of like hotfixed together or patched together. You're probably going to see a lot of people get all hyped and excited for this, and I'm going to be real, this isn't really anything major. I said this a few times. The whole point of this is them figuring out how to make future content, for example from Mr. Pandaria, Warlords, Legion onward, work in a Classic backend setting. And 1.60, it could be them fixing all the issues of the anniversary, like the Classic client, and trying to make the Classic client work. So the 5.50 is still actually 5.50. It's the Mr. Pandaria, the Warlord client. That works a lot better and is separated from all the anniversary era on the classic servers and lets them actually test and start breaking everything else. So the 1.58 patch forked anniversary. It added the WoW token, all this back-end TBC stuff, and then anniversary broke. A shit ton of Nax bosses were unplayable, people's UIs were broken, the macro was broken. They fucked up a lot of things with the pushing of the TBC patch and new stuff onto the anniversary patch. So because of that, this new internal testing might finally be them spitting up a new client, separate, which actually allows them to test things and push things and do things without it bricking the rest of the goddamn classic anniversary. Now, this could also be them trying to do TBC changes in the back end without breaking Classic anymore. This could quite literally just be TBC changes. We have to be realistic. I know a lot of people are going to be hyped and excited about it. People are going to be screaming, Classic Plus is finally here, or they're testing, or SOD Phase 9, or any of these things. And it's as much as I want it to be real, as much as I hope from the bottom of my heart, from the heart of my heart, from everything deep inside of me that this is something major, something amazing, something top tier. The realistic answer is this patch is fucking nothing. But you look at this, you just think to yourself, what if this was Classic Plus? What if this was them starting to get things ready? It could potentially mean a Warcraft Direct this year, which could be phenomenal. A TBC roadmap of what's coming, the exact phases, showing BlizzCon with a big question mark at the end of there for September 12 and 13, 2026. Getting our hopes up and getting people excited. A Warcraft Direct would also help with retail, when 11.2.7 is, when, for example, Midnight pre-patches, Midnight WoW's release date. A Warcraft Direct would actually do really well today, this year in particular, to get the player base back on track with Game Come with Disaster. Did a separate showcase later on, showing more things for retail and more hype for Midnight WoW. They've been doing a lot of alpha testing, getting things ready for everybody, housing, for example, all this stuff. Legion Remix. We know there's more game modes coming up from the game modes team. A Warcraft Direct will probably do really, really well with just setting every single version of World of Warcraft up for success. Getting everybody hyped and excited. Because let's be real, we know nothing about TBC. When's pre-patch, when it's dropping, what the phases look like, is it accelerated, is there gear changes, is there class balancing changes, is there changing raid like Lust and like Heroism? Like what exactly are they doing? How exactly are they changing things? And what exactly is that going to look like? We know nothing. We don't even know a release date for an expansion that's quite literally dropping in less than, at the latest, 12 weeks. Because assuming Nax Rammus lasts, let's say, 16 weeks, right? Which is unlikely. But again, we know the rough time frame. We just don't have any dates. Is pre-patch 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? What is it going to be? So a Warcraft Direct with them teasing, for example, Classic Plus, with them teasing all this other information, and retail WoW getting the release dates all ready, would do amazing for the entire community, getting everybody ready, excited right now at this moment to be hyped for the future. Because there's a lot of like negativity around Classic WoW, around private servers, around all the things that are happening, because people don't want to really be excited. They want to hate on Blizzard, and that's fair. They've made a lot of mistakes, especially the Classic player base, very negative, very angry, very angsty. They saw the WoW thing get added and they lost their mind. I'm part of that, right? Level boost happening, all these things. People are negative in general from the current mentality that Blizzard has abandoned us, we don't matter, China #1, Blizzard, you know, NA, EU, terrible, we don't get anything. So giving us a Warcraft Direct to get us excited, get us hyped, would do great. And it would also showcase that they're working on things, especially if this 1.60 is actually for a future version that isn't actually coming out. Actual internal testing of internal servers and internal game modes. It could be amazing. Because when SOD first got announced, when it first got pushed into the back end with testing, nobody knew what that was. They were like, huh? What is this new Classic server? What is this shit? We thought it was Classic Plus. Turned out to be SOD. This could be a repeat of that. But hey, thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you think this is. Do you actually think this is Classic Plus? Or do you think this is yet again another TBC anniversary thing? Or another alpha testing thing where they're just figuring things out and has nothing to really do with our Classic Plus or the Classic Plus we'll get in the future? Thank you all. Ebonheart out. Like and subscribe, but don't. It is what it is. Be a dedicated hater if you're going to half-ass it. Dislike and subscribe. Peace, everybody.
Was that really it? For our money, that's the only question worth asking as Russia's summer offensive of 2025 begins to wind down. Launched with much fanfare in May, at a moment when Ukraine was at its weakest point since early 2022, the offensive was predicted to make major inroads against an opponent suffering from severe manpower shortages. Putin himself declared before things got underway that, quoting him here, "There are reasons to believe we can finish off Ukraine's armed forces." Well, 5 months later, and that has yet to happen. Not only is Kiev's army still standing, but it has managed to blunt the Russian advance. And while Moscow's forces have made gains, and may yet manage to take the strategic city of Pokrovsk, their advances have been small and have come at tremendous cost. Conservative estimates suggest that over 60,000 Russian troops have been killed in action so far this year, with higher-end estimates reaching almost 90,000. In return, Russia has conquered 0.4% of Ukrainian land. All of which raises the question, why aren't Putin's forces doing any better? And we don't mean that flippantly. Ukraine in autumn of 2025 is not in a good place. It is desperately short on troops, has lost most of its edge in drone warfare, and has seen its power grid devastated by aerial attacks. Against such a weakened opponent, Russia should be doing far, far better. So why aren't they?
Just before we continue, a quick word from today's lovely sponsor, Incogni. Have you ever tried Googling yourself? I mean, if you haven't, you have. Everyone has. Even if it's just to find out if there's someone with your same name out there. But when you do it, and put in the name, if you've got a common name that is, put in the name of the town that you live in, or where you've lived in the past, or where you were born, or whatever, and you'll see why. Why is my address there? Why is my phone number there? Why is information about my relatives there? Stop it! And this is, there's basically websites out there that gather all of this data together and they sell it to other websites, they sell it to advertisers, all of that stuff, which leads to spam calls and spam emails and even identity theft and all of that bullshit that no one likes. I mean, really doesn't like. This stuff sucks. Incogni is a hands-off way to take your personal data back. They contact those data brokers and websites on your behalf and get that information removed automatically and legally, and it's all been verified by Deloitte. And the real power is in their custom removals. If you spot your info on any website, even one outside of their automated list, just send them the link. Their privacy experts will work on getting it taken down. You can submit as many links as you want, and they'll handle the entire process. No forms, no back and forth emails, just results. So, take your personal data back with Incogni. Use the code WARFRONTS at incogni.com/warfronts to get an extra 60% off an annual plan. They can't harm you if they can't find you. Now back to today's episode.
Well, to see what we mean, let's go back and look at the media coverage of the Ukraine war in the spring of 2025. Then the air was thick with gloomy think pieces predicting a hard summer for Kiev. The Ukrainians had just been ejected from Kursk. Volodymyr Zelensky had been humiliated in the White House by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. After a recruitment drive that had succeeded all expectations, Russia was massing its forces. While the Kremlin's main goal seemed to be seizing the rest of Donetsk in the east, there was talk of the northern regional capital of Sumy falling to Moscow's forces, of a renewed assault on Kharkiv, and a potential breakthrough in the south. In short, Ukraine appeared to be pretty not to the extent of Russian troops marching into Kiev, but to the extent that serious analysts believed Ukraine might end the summer sat at the negotiating table with a severely weakened hand. Instead, summer 2025 seems destined to go down in history as the Russian equivalent of Ukraine's failed 2023 counteroffensive, a military action that saw countless lives lost in return for very minor gains. Up in Sumy Oblast, a Russian offensive toward the regional capital got bogged down in border villages and never progressed. In Kharkiv, the renewed push has so far made only minor gains. Down in the Donbass, key cities that were regarded as minimum goals such as Pokrovsk and Kostantinivka have yet to fall. Now, we need to be clear that we're very much not saying things are all hunky-dory for Ukraine. Disappointing performance or not, the Russians are still the ones advancing on the battlefield, and, as we'll return to later in the video, Pokrovsk may well see a Ukrainian retreat in the near future. The point, though, is that cities like Pokrovsk were the minimum goals for the summer. The places Moscow had to take in order to present the offense as anything other than an absolute debacle. Should they fall, the Kremlin's campaign will have just squeaked a passing grade. Should Ukraine somehow continue to hold them, well, that would raise serious questions about the viability of the Kremlin's war effort. As The Economist put it, quoting, "Unless something dramatic changes, Vladimir Putin will be unable to win the war on the battlefield. The fact that he nevertheless continues to try, regardless, suggests that he is out of ideas." years. That wasn't all supposed to be this way. At the same time that Russia had been crawling forward on the battlefield, Ukraine had been undergoing a severe manpower crisis, one that should have impacted its ability to blunt Russian advances. If you're a regular viewer, you'll know we already covered this crisis in a video released on October the 13th. We'd encourage anyone who wants a better understanding of the issues to go back and watch it, but the TLDR version is that Ukraine's recruitment and mobilization efforts have fallen short, while the unpopularity of conscription has led to the state making very little effort to return many of the tens of thousands who go AWOL. Taken together, these factors have caused real problems. Emeritus Professor of War Studies at King's College London, Lawrence Friedman, has estimated that, quote, Ukraine is short of about 100,000 troops. Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky has even noted that while his forces are shrinking with time, Russia is recruiting so many men that their army is growing by about 9,000 soldiers a month. In a recent devastating expose, the Kiev Independent interviewed anonymous commanders who reported having a mere 10 combat-effective infantrymen in their entire battalion. These shortages have real operational impacts. The ex-account of the open-source intelligence group Ukraine Control Map explained it this way, quoting, "This shortage has left Ukraine largely unable or unwilling to conduct major counterattacks beyond limited operations by assault troops who often face immense difficulty retaking even small villages. As a result, Russian forces can pause, refit, and rebuild with minimal risk of counteroffensives." The shortage has also meant fewer chances for Ukrainian troops to rotate off the front lines and get some necessary rest, and it has made defending against Russian breakthroughs an exercise in running around putting out fires. As the founder of analysis group Frontelligence put it on X, quote, "The recent negative dynamics in Kupiansk show that the fundamental issue of Ukraine's military remains. It is forced to operate in a fire brigade fashion, reinforcing threatened sectors of the front such as Pokrovsk at the cost of other directions." This is what we mean when we say Russia should be doing better. When those analysts said summer 2025 would be tough for Kiev, they weren't just being negative for the sake of annoying people on Twitter with Ukrainian flags in their bios. They were honestly reporting the likely negative consequences of Russia's overwhelming manpower advantages. But instead of that overwhelming manpower advantage translating to overwhelming battlefield gains, it seems to have mostly translated into good old-fashioned disappointment. To illustrate, let's look at one of the most threatened urban areas still held by Ukraine, Pokrovsk. After first infiltrating the city in June, Russian forces are, at the time of writing on Wednesday, trying to break a consolidation, one that would very well drive out the Ukrainian defenders. To quote analyst Clément Molin, at the present time, Russian elements are present in almost the entire city of Pokrovsk, around the railway station, the factories in the northwest and south of the city. Does this mean that the city has fallen? No. Now, we must wait to know if a consolidation will follow and therefore a Ukrainian withdrawal from the agglomeration in the coming weeks, or if the situation will remain the same. And look, while that's bad news for Kiev, we should mention that Russia has been on the cusp of taking Pokrovsk since mid-2024. That means that even if the city falls, it has taken over a year of ferocious fighting and massive Russian casualties. And while Pokrovsk is a target of real strategic value, it's not an end in and of itself. Here's how Reuters described what would come next. Capturing Pokrovsk, dubbed the gateway to Donetsk by Russian media, and Konstantinivka to its northeast, which Russian forces are also trying to envelop, would give Moscow a platform to drive north towards the two biggest remaining Ukrainian-controlled cities in Donetsk, Kramatorsk and Sloviansk. End quote. So while we want to emphasize that the fall of Pokrovsk would be a really big problem for Ukraine, it wouldn't herald the end of the war or even the end of the battle for the Donbass. Rather, it would be a stepping stone towards a much bigger fight over other, better defended cities. And that's an issue for Russia because the insane level of casualties they've sustained this summer won't be commensurate with the rewards, even if the next few weeks see them seize both Pokrovsk and, say, Kupiansk. As Timothy Milovanov, president of the Kiev School of Economics, put it about the current battle for Konstantinivka, quote, "After months of assaults, Russian troops gained meters, not cities, leaving thousands of their soldiers dead in open fields." Now, of course, our entire analysis lives and dies on the precise number of casualties Moscow has sustained this year, and obviously no one in the Kremlin is being all like, "Hey, I've got an idea. Let's ring up that Simon dude from Warfronts and give him our classified casualty figures. And well, this has led to a whole lot of copium in certain online spaces, where the lack of verifiable Russian casualty figures has allowed people who get a for Vladimir Putin's puffy, Botox-filled face to do all sorts of mental gymnastics to prove that only a single Russian soldier has died, and then only after defeating 35 million Ukrainians in hand-to-hand combat. But the lack of hard figures from Moscow doesn't mean we have no way of measuring Russian troop deaths in 2025, and the estimates serious analysts are using range all the way from not great for the Kremlin to nearly catastrophic. We'll start with the most controversial figure released in recent weeks. Coming from a leaked document published on the Telegram channel of Ukrainian group I Want to Live, it supposedly lists official Russian losses in the first 8 months of 2025 as 86,744 troops killed in action. Just to repeat that, that's killed in action, it's not just casualties, which would typically include the wounded, missing, and captured. To get some sense of how huge a figure that is, the National Archives record that the United States saw a shade under 41,000 killed in action in the entire Vietnam War. If this leak is genuine, it would mean Russia has lost over double that amount in 8 months. Now, you may have noticed that the phrase, "if this leak is genuine," was doing some heroic lifting there. That's because some high-profile analysts doubt that this document is authentic. While I Want to Live has published genuine leaked death lists from individual Russian units before, there's a reason to suspect that this latest one is pretty suspect. Chief among those throwing cold water on the numbers is the independent Russian outlet Mediazona. Mediazona are partners in 2 of the most respected independent counts of Russian casualties out there, the named list in collaboration with the BBC, and the probate count in collaboration with Medusa.
All right, let's watch the trailer and we'll see what it is. This is Silent Cartographer. It's like the third mission in the game. Damn. Damn. The campaign evolved.
Halo Campaign Evolved is the next project coming out of Halo Studios. It is the ultimate Halo CE campaign remake. It is coming to Xbox, PC, and for the first time, PlayStation. It'll be arriving next year. To talk more about it, we've got Dan.
There it is. I fucking knew it. I told y'all this shit was gonna happen. Yes, it is coming to PlayStation. That is huge. This is such a huge W.
Max and Greg from the development team. Guys, let's get into this. Why is this the right game for right now?
We did this work on Halo Anniversary. I felt like there were certain things that were left unsaid. There were certain things that we weren't able to achieve at that time. There were certain things we weren't able to do.
It's a great time to revisit Combat Evolved for new players, for established Halo players, and maybe even for old friends playing on different hardware today, to allow them to play together and enjoy the franchise together again.
Going back to the Halo ring again for the first time.
For the first time is really important. And for them to be surprised by new content and feel like excited again about exploring the ring world.
For new players, this is the right time for you to jump in. Think of this as your introduction into this huge franchise we've been building for the past 25 years.
I'm curious how you're going to focus on capturing the essence of the original, knowing that you need to evolve to kind of move the experience forward.
Isn't it crazy, like, by the way, the fact that this shit, keep in mind, this came out 25 years ago. I don't think people recognize like how fucking next generation this was at the time.
Yeah, from design, we don't take that lightly at all. Whenever we make a change, the number one thing was to be true to the original game.
For every one of those topics that comes up, there's someone who is incredibly passionate on the other side saying we can, like, that is sacred. We do not move that crate.
It's really about looking across, what we've learned over the years, what technology we've built, and how we can tie that back into this experience.
So in this game, up to 4 people can play the campaign together, regardless of which platform they're on. And then we're kicking it old school. We can play 2-player co-op on consoles, on the couch together, just like we did back in the original.
Actually, W. Great decision. That's what they should have done. I remember one of the games didn't release with that. Was a huge mistake. They learned their lesson. This is good.
What do you have to do differently to account now for 4 people running around?
For different co-op counts, we will make some of the spaces larger. We also want to make sure we're authentic to the encounters themselves. So it's a balancing act between that difficulty tuning and making those encounters the right size for the right space.
I understand that we've done some special tune-up works to the beloved Warthog.
Let's see it.
There's a new seat, what I like to call the golf cart seat or the bumper seat. This is on the back of the Warthog, so now you can bring everyone with.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Let's talk a little bit about one of my favorite aspects of the Halo franchise. What is a skull? What's cool about it? What does it do?
The skull is a gameplay modifier, generally mean-spirited, makes the game more challenging for the player.
The combination of pairing.
Wasn't it crazy how back in the day, nobody even really knew what the skulls were? And then you just had people on like random online forums and you would hear about it from your friend that like told you like that like, oh, underneath this one thing, like really that was like, whenever you think back on that, like that was so cool, bro. Like that was so badass.
These different skulls and how that's going to create that new gameplay experience. Huge amount of replay options for folks.
I love the replayability that skulls bring to a campaign. It just, is almost endless variety.
We have dozens of skulls this time.
The most that we've ever had in a Halo game.
Are you a lasso guy? I think you yourself told me that you don't think anyone would ever be able to complete this game with legendary all skulls on.
I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot. And so if you can do a true legendary all skulls on run, let us know. Because I'd love to see it.
Well, didn't that one guy do it? Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, that'd be really hard.
If there's one thing that this community has shown us is do not underestimate them, and they will find a way.
But that was Halo 2, to be fair.
Halo's always been known for its sandbox. How has this evolved?
We made sure that anything we included isn't going to drastically change the way the game plays, to change the sandbox in a drastic way, but there's some really fun kind of additions, and that's across enemies, weapons, vehicles, things that in the original CE you weren't able to do before that you now can. You finally kill the elite with the sword. That weapon hits the floor and you can pick that up and just, kind of really
that is
take it to the enemy. It's great.
John, I remember whenever you would play like that shit on Legendary and like the gold elite would come through the door and it was like, it's over, bro, it's over, like we're cooked. Yeah. Oh no.
All these weapons, by the way, have been painstakingly remodeled, rebuilt, higher fidelity. How do all these things kind of come to life?
That comes across through the way they look, the way they sound, the effects, the actual panels on the weapons.
I think this looks good. I mean, it looks fine. I mean, it doesn't look insanely, like, it's a remake, right? So it's probably not supposed to be like super high def, but this looks fine.
Cells, the ammo counters.
With Unreal, the fully dynamic lighting within Lumen allows us to get those effects, right? That rich plasma lighting up and brightening the environments.
Yeah, this is good.
Of course, one of the hallmark elements of Halo CE is what becomes kind of a three-way battle with the introduction of the Flood.
There was quite a bit of development between Halo CE and 3 to kind of how the Flood behaved and just how they interacted with the player. So we've pulled a lot of those.
I remember that shit was really cool because nobody even knew what, like, if I remember right, the introduction of the Flood was not even shown anywhere in like the promotional materials of Halo 1. And so like nobody even knew this shit was going to happen in the game at all. And then like it's just like had that vibe shift and like what was it, like the library? I think that was the map.
Flood behaviors into this game.
And I would say this is a learning specifically from CE2 Anniversary, which is just kind of that mood, the atmosphere, the tension, the horror, and really delivering on that from the way that we stage the encounters and the setup and how we reveal the Flood.
In Halo Legacy, there were some pure form units. We've pulled in a familiar friend, familiar fiend, if you will, to challenge the player.
The big boy.
Talk to me just a little bit about how we're approaching the narrative aspects to bring it up to the same level as the rest of this game.
We want to tell an authentic story and we want to level up the cinematics from the source.
Good.
As we were building this out, we didn't just kind of put a new coat of paint over the original cinematics, right? We ended up revisiting exactly how they were blocked out, how they were sequenced, how they were put together, and we've done that across the board.
We have access to original source assets, original source code, and access to the original storyboards. We are remastering, remixing the music to go along with these cinematics.
We also had the core principal cast come in and
I hope that they can do that in the right way, because like some of those cinematics and everything, it was just like, it was so good. And I just like, I'm worried about that, right? Because it's just like, oh man.
All the lines.
I hope it's good.
How much firepower would you need to crack one of the engine shields?
This really provides a degree of fidelity that we weren't able to do for Halo Anniversary.
Now would be a very good time to leave.
I'm super excited that this game will include 3 brand new bonus missions. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was really important that we preserve the original story as it is. So these missions specifically are meant to be a prequel setup for, the main course. These new missions are going to offer some new opportunities for character interactions, maybe between, Chief and Johnson.
We've got some new mechanics, some new AI behaviors, things that haven't been done before in Halo CE.
I think we're just getting started.
So where are we right now at this stage in development? What can you share with us?
In the past few weeks, we've been able to start engaging and sending builds out to some of our community members.
We can now see so many of the elements of the level really coming together.
There's a point in every game's life cycle where it kind of just comes online.
Seeing really high fidelity versions of the cinematics, elements of the sandbox and encounter tweaks and the lighting.
You can go to someone's desk and give feedback live on an experience. And to me, that's like a really exciting
That looks badass.
The ultimate love letter to the game that started it all. I would call upon our entire Halo community to welcome with open arms this next generation of players. I'm excited to just relive these experiences again for the first time.
Man. So they're remaking the entire campaign. Holy shit. Yeah, so excited. I mean, that's awesome. Like, I'm happy. I mean, I wonder if it's going to be any good, right? I'm not sure. I hope there's no sprinting, though. I don't really have an opinion about it. Let me see what this one is. This is the trailer that they just put out.
According to the data in their networks, the ring has some kind of deep religious significance. They call it Halo. They believe that Halo is some kind of weapon.
What sort of weapon is it?
One with unimaginable power.
I really kind of forgot how cool this was. I did. I forgot.
Gotta find the cartographer. We'll keep him busy as long as we can. Fire Team Charlie, we're on our way. Touchdown! Hit it, Marines!
Yeah.
Somebody order a warthog.
Man. Do you remember trying to drive the warthog inside the building? Did y'all ever try and do that? That's exactly what I did.
The Covenant are putting up a real fight. The cartographer must be here.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, rock and roll!
It's worth it. It was.
Give them hell, Chief.
Man. I think I'm not updating quality. What's the second? Not updating quality of life and expanding controls in Oblivion was a real detriment. I think sprinting would be good here, a real remaster. Okay, so this is like the whole actual thing. Let me see it.
The Covenant believe that what they call the Silent Cartographer is somewhere under this island. The Cartographer is a map room that will lead us to Halo's control center.
I don't mind sprinting. I don't have an opinion on it. If you want me to be honest, like, I don't strongly feel one way or another. It's just not, it just doesn't matter a lot to me. New project and it's in 2 minutes? I said 2 minutes. Well, it's got to just be this, right? It has to just be this. Wait, it's going to be different? If it's any different than what we already watched, yeah, I feel like it's gonna be the same thing. Like, I mean, there's no way they're gonna announce two things like this at the same time. I'll say this looks good. Definitely looks good. Look at this. It's solid, yeah. It's like, what is this here? It what? They are? It was leaked a bit ago. It's a new Halo game? Bullshit. Bullshit. You're so full of shit. There's no way. There's no way. No way. No way. I think you're lying. Smell, I'm gonna use the bathroom. Yeah, no. He lying.
We actually introduced a brand new name, of course, for the studio. So that leaves me with the big question: is Sketch, what's on deck for this year?
Well, we thought we changed our name again. No, just kidding.
All right.
Honestly, Lottie, it's been
Where's
a
the
really
announcement?
busy and exciting year at Halo Studios. The team's just been laser focused, working on the next chapter for the franchise.
Nope.
As you mentioned, kind of last year, we took a look at what Halo could look like in Unreal 5, and over the past year, we've been busy playing Halo in Unreal
Relax.
5. So it's just been a really exciting time for the studio. We're on the eve now of 25 years. The anniversary is next year. Really since the beginning of it all, the release of
bro, 25 years.
Really big momentous moment and super exciting.
Has it really been that long?
Ahead to what's going to be the next chapter for Halo.
I mean, so many incredible memories. I mean, Max, you must have tons of memories that
Jesus.
being in the franchise. And,
There's no way that's
obviously
true, right?
Halo,
It's gotta be a lie.
Nostalgic, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, 25 years. It's incredible, right? So thinking back to the Combat Evolved experience.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
being
probably
on
had
the
hair
ring
back
for
then,
the
right?
First time as Chief, you know, just driving that Warthog to the beach, playing co-op on the couch with a friend, getting through the legendary campaign. There's just so many great memories.
Yeah, and like I remember buying my first Xbox back in 2001 and playing the game with my buddies on the couch. And then personally, I would just stop and look at the game and what they were doing in Halo. I just never
look
seen
out in the
before.
background.
It's
Yeah.
Honestly, I got a massive role as the coolest big sister because it's how I literally spent time with my brother. We split screened Halo. That was what we did, and it was incredible. So many amazing memories. But
wait,
bringing
girls
it back
played
to
this
the
game?
present,
Is
you
that
must
true?
be here for a reason, and I already know you got something up your sleeve. Well, if you were wearing longer ones, Damon. But do you want to hit us with a little world premiere?
World premiere.